Quite a few high impact news coming up. First week of the month, NFP week. Traders, get ready for a big move in the market. NFP week is always an event for the traders. Now, as you can see on the chart, quite a few high impact news coming up. Starting with Monday onwards, we could see a very significant movement in the market. Now, let's see what kind of trading opportunity we have in the upcoming week with this movement. I'll be doing a complete multi-time frame analysis to see how we can find trading opportunity in the upcoming week. Now, before I start this weekly Forex forecast, traders, I would also recommend you to watch the previous weekly Forex forecast. If you look at our previous weekly Forex forecast, this is what exactly we expected on DXY to drop to the support level, and the market did exactly as it is. Now let's look at this week how the market might be doing based on the multi-time frame approach. We'll be looking at both day trading as well as swing trading aspect in the upcoming week. Now, before I start this weekly Forex forecast, traders, I would appreciate your support if you give a thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. So without further delay, let's begin this week's weekly Forex forecast. Okay, today, so let's begin with first of all DXY, as DXY will give us clear direction, removing all the noise from the lower time frame. Starting with the monthly chart on DXY, what we can see that from the monthly perspective, DXY this month so far was in a very significant bearish price action. Now this is the monthly candle just has closed. We can see that it's a full body red, and we can see that after this bullish move, the market has made significant bearish price action in the past month, and what we could see a bit more continuation of this downtrending market structure on DXY. As we have seen a very strong rejection, we could see further downside to this support level. Now, if we look at the weekly chart to see overall direction in the market, what we can see that from the weekly, a bit broken down picture here. There is a strong impulse followed by this correction, another impulse followed by narrow correction. We have seen there is the price now currently coming back down to this support level. Now, if we look at this trending structure, we can see that with this impulse correction, and there's a very strong impulse, the price now coming back down to the support level. Now in this downtrending market structure on the weekly, we can see that this is a very important support level from the weekly, which is a high liquidity zone. As the price moves from liquidity to liquidity, we can expect DXY now to come back to this liquidity zone to grab that before bouncing back to the upside. So we still can expect further downside on DXY. Now, if we look at the daily chart, what we can see that from the daily, the market structure is a bit more clearer picture. We can see that there was multiple liquidity grab from here, and quite a few liquidity candle has given a high momentum for DXY to drop back to this support level. Now, this is a very significant level of support, as there is high liquidity zone below this level, which is the monthly and weekly support as well, and also the daily support. And I think that slowly we might see this week the price to come back down to grab further liquidity, or even breaking that low to come back down further. So we still can expect DXY to remain bearish in the upcoming week after deeper pullback. So if we look at the lower time frame further, we can see that there is a consolidation pattern here, and we have seen a breakdown followed by a pullback, expecting DXY to move back up to any of this liquidity zone. This is a high liquidity. Now, as you can see, there is a very strong rejection from this level with a strong liquidity grab, a big drop, expecting DXY to move back up to that liquidity zone. What I think that this week we might see DXY forming this pattern from the lower time frame perspective. Now, based on the price action confirmation, we will be looking for trading opportunity, other instrument based on the DXY wave that we could see in this market. Now, with that being said, let's begin with AUD USD. So we might see a mirror of DXY in most of the USD pair. Starting with the monthly chart on AUD USD, what we can see that from the monthly so far, it is a bull market. This monthly candle closed as a bullish candle, and we can see that back-to-back 2 long wick dodges in that area on AUD USD, expecting for the price to bounce back up to fill that wick to the upside to create a new higher high. Now, looking at the weekly chart, what we can see that from the weekly on AUD USD, so far a big move followed by narrow doji, and we can see another move on AUD USD. And now from the weekly time frame, we can see there is a long wick candle here. Now this long wick candle is quite significant, as what we could see on AUD USD after grabbing liquidity, a continuation to the uptrending market structure. While we are expecting DXY to initially bounce and then to drop, and we could see a mirror initially downside and then continuation to the uptrending market structure on AUD USD, where we can see that this is the weekly support level. Now, if we look at the daily chart on AUD USD, we can see that from the daily time frame, this is the daily strong liquidity candle formation with a very strong impulse, followed by we can see there is a consolidation pattern here on AUD USD, expecting for the price to drop further to grab liquidity before bouncing back towards the upside on AUD USD. Now, looking at the intraday perspective on AUD USD, we can see that this is the previous resistance line here on AUD USD, and with this resistance, what we could see initial bounce and then to grab liquidity from this level. Now, if we look at on AUD USD, we can see that the market in a consolidation pattern, and there is an imbalance here in that zone. So what I think that with the market open, we could see AUD USD forming this pattern, and from this support we can expect for the price to remain bullish. This could be the wave on AUD USD in the upcoming week. Based on that, we will be looking for entry opportunity in the upcoming days and sessions. Now let's look at euro dollar. Let's see what kind of trading opportunity we have in this instrument. Looking at the monthly chart on euro dollar. Now from the monthly, we can see that this is the monthly bullish candle on euro dollar. So far a very strong bullish momentum on euro dollar. This is the monthly candle has closed, which is showing potential further bullish price action on euro dollar. Now if we look at the weekly chart, what we can see that from the weekly, the previous week there is a doji. Now if we look at closely, we can see that already there is a weekly impulse followed by back-to-back 2 narrow candle formation on euro dollar. Now this weekly candle is a complete doji, and what I think that this week we might see a retest of this support on euro dollar and further upside possible from this level from the lower time frame perspective. Now if we look at the daily chart on euro dollar, what we can see that from the daily there is a bull flag. We can see that there is a strong bullish impulse followed by a bull flag formation. Now this bull flag, already we have seen a break of structure in that area, and from that break of structure the market managed to bounce back up. What we could see on euro dollar for the price to drop back down to test this support and then to continue to the upside to create a new higher high. So based on the lower time frame price action on euro dollar, if we see that the price has tested this daily support, we can look for potential entry opportunity. Now from the intraday perspective, we can see a strong red candle followed by a narrow doji, expecting euro dollar to drop down to this support and then to bounce back up to create a new higher high. If we look at the GBPUSD, let's see how the market might be doing on GBPUSD. Looking at the monthly chart, what we can see that from the monthly on GBPUSD, there is a monthly bullish candle so far, and this monthly bullish candle is quite significant as this candle has closed with a strong bullish momentum, expecting GBPUSD to bounce back up to create a new higher high. So if we look at the weekly chart on GBPUSD, what we can see that from the weekly, this is the weekly impulse on GBPUSD, followed by we can expect now a deeper pullback. Now this weekly candle has closed as a doji in that area. Now this doji on the weekly is quite significant, expecting GBPUSD to drop further for a deeper pullback. Now as you can see, there is an impulse followed by narrow correction, another impulse, expecting deeper correction before bouncing back to the upside again on GBPUSD. Now looking at the daily chart on GBPUSD, what we can see that from the daily perspective, there is a daily consolidation pattern here on GBPUSD. What we can see from here, there is a very strong liquidity grab, and followed by what we can see in that area, there is a channel in that zone. Now this channel on GBPUSD from the daily is quite significant, as we could see further downside, expecting GBPUSD to break any of this liquidity zone, as there is a daily 20 EMA below this level. There is a high area of value. Now if we look at the intraday perspective on GBPUSD, we can see that it is still maintaining typical bullish market structure, and with this bullish market structure, GBPUSD expecting for the price to drop down to any of this support level. As we can see, there is a narrow consolidation pattern here, expecting GBPUSD to drop down and then to continue to rise to the upside to create a new higher high. Now let's look at dollar CAD. Let's see what kind of trading opportunity we have in dollar CAD. Looking at the monthly chart on dollar CAD, we can see that from the monthly perspective, there is a very strong bearish price action on the monthly. This is the monthly candle that has closed with a long bearish candle. Now this bearish candle on the monthly is quite significant, as we can see that with this monthly bearish candle, the price may continue to drop further to the downside, as we are expecting on DXY to remain bearish. Now if we look at the weekly chart, what we can see that from the weekly, from this resistance line, there is also a long bearish candle, and we have seen multiple liquidity grab on dollar CAD. After grabbing multiple liquidity, the market has formed series of lower high in that area on dollar CAD, expecting for the price to retest and then to continue to drop to the downside to create a new lower low. Now this is a very significant level of support on dollar CAD, as the market gathering liquidity from the top, expecting dollar CAD to remain bearish for long-term perspective. Now looking at the daily chart on dollar CAD, we can see that from the daily, this is the daily bull flag on dollar CAD, expecting for the price to retest and then to continue to drop. As we can see, the price grab liquidity, started to drop, and this is the daily bearish candle with a healthy body, expecting dollar CAD to bounce up to test this and then to continue to drop to the downside to this support level. Now looking at the intraday perspective on dollar CAD, we can see that it's maintaining still bearish market structure, followed by narrow correction, another drop, and we can see that here is the price is forming series of lower high and lower low, which is a typical downtrending market structure, expecting dollar CAD to retest and then to continue to drop to the downside to create a new lower low. So this is the level that we will be looking for potential entry opportunity on dollar CAD. Let's look at gold. Let's see what kind of price action that we have in this instrument. Now looking at gold from the higher time frame, looking at the monthly chart, we can see that from this support level, there is a very strong impulse on the monthly on gold. Now this is the last monthly candle that has a long wick at the top, and with this long wick at the top on gold, expecting for the price to drop further. As we can see, back to back 4 months of bullish move, and we can see the market has formed back to back 2 monthly long wick candle. We have seen multiple rejection from the top, might give gold now a deeper pullback to this support level. Now if we look at the weekly chart, we can see that the price action showing potentially bearish, as expected in our previous weekly forex forecast. We have seen that after this long bearish engulfer followed by weekly doji is potentially a bearish price action on gold. Now if we look at, this is the resistance line, this weekly resistance, expecting gold to bounce and then to retest and then to continue to drop to the downside to create a new lower low. Now looking at the daily chart, what we can see that from the daily, this is the daily bearish engulfer on gold, and we can see that the market is maintaining still bearish market structure with this impulse followed by a pullback, and the market is maintaining series of lower high and lower low. What we can see, this is the daily bearish engulfer that has crossed this dodges high, grab the liquidity and then form a long bearish engulfer. Now this daily bearish engulfer is potentially, in my opinion, a bearish price action, as we can see that if you compare these red candles with the green candles, we can see that the bears are well stronger than the bulls, which is a sign that the price might drop further. As the price moves from liquidity to liquidity, we could see that ultimately gold dropping back to this liquidity zone where there is a high area of value. Now this is the daily candle. Above this level also there is a high liquidity. Now let's see further lower time frame to see how the market might be evolving. Now last session of the trading week, last day, we can see that there was a strong bearish engulfer with a fake out, and immediate rejection has given us high probability for gold to continue to drop in that direction. Now this gold bearish engulfer is quite significant, followed by, this is the last session, so we can see a red candle, which is in fact also a very important area of value, expecting gold to bounce or retest this resistance, which is the 23,359 level, is a very important area of value, and we might see a potential head and shoulder formation for this potential drop to this support level on gold. Now if we look at further lower time frame from day trading perspective, we can see that 15 minutes there is a strong downtrend. This is a fake out on the 15 minutes completely to the upside, is a high probability that gold might drop in that direction to create a new lower low in this market. So if we look at this level here on gold, we can see that the market is maintaining typical downtrending market structure, expecting gold to drop and then to drop back down to this support level. This is where I will be waiting on gold for the price to retest and then to continue to drop to this support level. This is where on the market opening, I will be waiting for potential entry opportunity on gold. As soon as we will find suitable entry, we will be looking for going short with a high probability trade setup. Traders, if you want to trade all of them with us in Forex Trading Wizard Academy and also be part of the trading community, also you can find link below this video in the description area. Visit the website and then click join now button to trade with me, to access all the trading tools that we have and also be part of this trading community. Now let's look at yen pairs. Let's see how the market might be doing with dollar yen and GBP JPY. Starting with the GBP JPY, looking at the monthly chart on GBP JPY, we can see that from the monthly, this is a long bullish market structure on GBP JPY. Starting from here, we can see there is a big impulse followed by deeper correction, and we can see another impulse followed by a correction, and the market is maintaining typical bullish market structure on GBP JPY. Now this is a very strong bullish market structure, followed by, we can see that there is another monthly bullish candle. Now this monthly candle has closed but with a very strong bullish momentum, giving a high probability for GBP JPY to go for another bounce towards the upside. Now looking at the weekly chart, we can see that from the weekly back-to-back 4 weeks bullish move, and there's a pattern that we can see that every week the bulls getting a bit of weaker, that might give a deeper pullback this week on GBP JPY. Now this is the weekly support level on GJ, where I think that the market might be coming down to retest and then to moving back to the upside to create a new higher high. Now looking at the daily chart on GJ, we can see that with this daily rejection, now this daily red candle is quite significant as it has broken this liquidity zone, and we can see that the market has formed another bullish candle. We could see deeper pullback and then continuation to the upside is expected on GBP JPY. Now looking at the intraday perspective, we can see that there was a break of structure which is expected after this long uptrending market structure. GBP/JPY had a break of structure, and then we have seen consolidation pattern, expecting GJ to keep pushing high, as there is a very important level of resistance here, which is turning support, which is a smart money zone, expecting for GJ to drop down to this support and then to bounce back up to create a new higher high. So any drop below this level, any pullback can give an opportunity for us to go long on GBP/JPY. Now let's look at dollar yen. Let's see what kind of opportunity we have in dollar yen. Looking at the monthly chart on dollar yen, we can see that from the monthly perspective on dollar yen, it is a long-term bullish market. Starting from here, we can see a very strong impulse on dollar yen, followed by, we can see there is a long wick candle. This is the monthly candle has closed so far, and what I think that we could see a bullish continuation pattern, as we can see that if you compare this bullish candle with a long wick narrow candle, we can expect dollar yen to bounce back up to create a new higher high. Now if we look at the weekly chart on dollar yen, we can see that from the weekly, this is a bullish market structure. What we can see that there is a strong impulse followed by narrow correction, another impulse followed by deeper correction, and the market is maintaining series of higher high and higher low in this uptrending market structure on dollar yen. Now what we can see, back to back, a bullish candle followed by long wick doji, another bullish candle followed by narrower candle on dollar yen. Now that could give dollar yen to retest this support before bouncing back towards the upside, expecting dollar yen to drop down and then to bounce back up to create a new higher high. Now if we look at the daily chart on dollar yen, we can see that from the daily there was a huge breakdown here. Now this red candle on the daily is in fact a very strong liquidity grab from this support level, expecting dollar yen to retest and then to keep pushing high to create a new higher high. Now looking at the intraday perspective on dollar yen, we can see that from the lower time frame perspective, this is a support level on dollar yen, which is a very important level of support, and from this support, expecting dollar yen to come down for a deeper pullback and then to bounce back up. So this is a support level that we're expecting dollar yen to bounce, to drop, to grab liquidity and then to continue to rise to create a new higher high. So now let's look at US30 and NASDAQ, how the market might be doing. Now looking at the US30, what we can see that from the monthly perspective on US30, we can see that from the monthly, this is a very strong monthly impulse on US30, followed by another monthly bearish candle. Now this month so far, we can see that there was a significant bullish move, but at the same time in this uptrending market, we can see that the market has grabbed liquidity from the resistance form a long wick candle, expecting on US30 for the price to drop down to this support level, expecting for the price to retest and then to go up and fill that long wick at the top. Now looking at the weekly chart on US30, we can see that from the weekly time frame, this is the weekly impulse on US30, followed by expecting for the price to come down to retest. As you can see, this is the weekly candle which has a long wick at the bottom. We might see initially the price is coming down to fill that long wick at the bottom on US30. Now looking at the daily chart, what we can see that from the daily, it is still maintaining a downtrending market structure here, and which is basically a typical downtrending market, expecting US30 to drop back down to this support level before bouncing back towards the upside. So we will be waiting for US30 to drop down to this support, grab that liquidity and then to bounce back up. So this is where what I think that US30 initially we might say downside and then continuation towards the uptrending market structure. Now let's look at NASDAQ to see how the market might be doing. Now looking at the monthly chart on NASDAQ, we can see that from the monthly, this is also a bullish market structure on NASDAQ. Starting from here, there is an impulse followed by a correction, and we can see another impulse followed by deeper correction on NASDAQ. So what we can see that last day of trading week on the monthly, a bullish candle, a bullish engulfer has formed on NASDAQ, expecting for the price to come down for a deeper pullback and then to continue to rise to create a new higher high. Now, if we look at the weekly chart on NASDAQ, we can see that from the weekly, this is a weekly impulse followed by last week we have seen a long week candle. From the weekly perspective, what I think that this week we might see a filling of that long week and then continuation to the upside to the long-term uptrending market structure. Now, looking at the daily chart on NASDAQ, we can see that from the daily, this is a daily impulse followed by narrow correction, another impulse followed by another narrow correction. The market is forming series of higher high and higher low, which is a long-term uptrending market structure. What we can see that last day of trading week, a long week doji. Now this doji is quite significant as it can indicate potential bullish or bearish, expecting on NASDAQ for the price to come down to fill that zone and then to continue to the upside to the long-term uptrending market structure. Now NASDAQ, what we can see that this is where the market is maintaining typical bullish market structure here on NASDAQ. Now this is the resistance line, and also we have seen there is another support level here. What I think that on NASDAQ with the market open, we might see further downside to this support as there is a long week doji here, which is an imbalance, and we could see the price is coming back down to retest and then to bounce back up to create a new higher high. So this is where we'll be waiting on NASDAQ to give us potential bullish entry opportunity as soon as we will find it. Now let's look at WTI. Let's see what kind of price action that we have. Looking at the monthly chart on WTI, what we can see that from the monthly perspective, this is the monthly previous months, there is a pin bar followed by this month. We can see that there is a red candle with a long wick at the bottom. Now if we look at the monthly price action on WTI, we can see that the market is still maintaining bearish market structure. Looking at the weekly chart, we can see that from the weekly previous week there is a red candle followed by this week the market has broken that high, grabbed that liquidity, and then we can see there is a long pin bar on the weekly perspective on WTI, so which might give further downside as this is a liquidity candle. Now looking at the daily chart, what we can see that from the daily, this is a resistance line here, and from the daily there was a consolidation pattern. The market grabbed the liquidity and expecting for WTI to keep pushing down to create new lower low, expecting for WTI to go up to retest and then to keep pushing down. Now looking at the intraday perspective on WTI, what we can see that the market is locally in a downtrending market structure, expecting for WTI to go up to retest any of this or break up structure or retest of this liquidity zone and then to keep pushing down. So what I think that WTI may remain bearish for some more time, so any pullback towards the upside can give potential selling opportunity on WTI. These are the pairs instrument that you will be looking to trade, along with many other instruments that you will be also keeping in our watch list. Traders, if you are interested to join us today in the Forex Trading Wizard Academy, also you can join. You can find link below this video in the description area. With that being said, thank you very much for joining this weekly Forex broadcast, and I'll see you there again trading live together. Until then, stay well, stay happy.